Hello and welcome back to day 12 of our 90 days data analytics challenge. I am super excited to have you back, and today we just want to see how we can clean our data set using Excel. This is the sample data set we'll work with for today's tutorial. I'm going to show you how to clean some columns in this data set, see what dirty data means and how to fix it. Let's get straight into the video. So first, looking at this first column, we can see that the data set is not properly formatted. The letters are not written in a proper case. Like we have capital letter, then small letter, then capital letter. Everything is just jam-packed. And you can see that we have extra spaces at the beginning of this text. And under this Lisa, everything is small letter. Here we have it mixed up, which is not looking, if you see the way it's looking now, it's not looking properly formatted compared to if everything is in small letter. Can you see how good this looks? So we'll try to change everything to a proper case. The first thing I'm going to do is create a new column. So right here, I'm going to select this B, right click there, and click on insert. It's going to insert a new column in between A and C. In this new column, in the cell B2, right? Cell B2 is where we have the first value. I want to use equals to. Remember I said when we are using function, then we start it with equals to. So whenever you want to change your letter, you want only the first letter to be uppercase and the rest lowercase, we use a function that we call the proper function. So when I type in proper, can you see it converts a text string to proper case, the first letter in each word to uppercase and all other letters to lowercase. You understand it better now. Once I type proper, I'm going to open a bracket and click on the text that I want to turn into a proper case. Just click on this cell A2. Once I click cell A2, I'll close my bracket and press the enter key. Can you see now that everything is now in proper case? And you don't need to start writing equals to proper for the rest again. You don't need to do that. All you have to do is click on the first one where you use the function for, and on this part you're just going to double click. Once it shows you this black thing box, just double click. It's going to do it for the rest of the rows till the end. Can you see that? All right, so that's just one of the data cleaning process. I also said we are going to remove the extra space here, right? So to remove the extra space, we can give this a column header. Maybe we can call it full name cleaned or something, because or full name too, we can't give it the same exact name as this one. It's going to throw us an error. So let's just give it full name too. So let's remove the spaces at the beginning, so everything starts on the same line. Just like this one is starting, everything is starting on the same line. I'm going to insert another column. All right, so in this column, to remove extra spaces in your data at the beginning and at the end, you use a function that we call the trim function. So I'm going to call the function out, which is the trim function, and I'm going to select the text that I want to remove extra spaces from, and I'll press enter. Can you see now that this is starting at the beginning where it's supposed to be? So, and then I can click on this and double click, and then I have everything formatted. If you check this and you check this, which one do you think looks better? Obviously it is this one. So if you want to have a full list of functions that you use in your day-to-day activity as a data analyst, make sure to join our paid community. One of the files you'll be able to access if you join the paid community is a table showing the full list of functions you need and how to use them. And you see, instead of first getting the proper case then trimming it, I can do it. I can use two functions at a time. Let me show you how I could do that. If I insert this, I don't want to do it one after the other. I want to use the two functions directly from this original column. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do equals to, and then I can do proper. I'm going to call the proper function, and inside the proper I want to put the trim function as well. Then I'm going to select this original text so it applies the two to it. I'm going to close the first bracket and the second bracket, enter. Can you see automatically it turned it to proper and also removed the extra spaces from it? So you can use more than one function at a time. So after we are done cleaning a particular column, we will delete the other columns that we don't need and then add the column header to the one that we now want to keep. Or if I delete this original column, you can see that I'm getting a ref error for the other ones I use function to draft out. That's because there is nothing that it is referencing. This is the original column that I used function to get the other columns from. So if I delete the original column, then there's no column that these other ones are going to reference. So there's a way to fix that. What is the way to fix that? The way to fix that is to copy. So this is the cleaned one that I want to make use of right now. I'm going to insert a new column. Now I'm going to copy this, the entire column. I copied it. Then I'll click on this one to paste. So if you want to paste, you are not just doing Ctrl V to paste. You come here, you see different paste option, paste as value, the one with 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm going to do. So if I paste as value, it will no longer reference this original column. That's what it means. So if I delete these other columns now, you can see that the other ones are bringing ref error, but the ones that I pasted as value is no longer bringing ref error. Another data cleaning that we do when we are working with data sets is to check for duplicates. Do we have duplicate data? Do we have duplicate entry? For example, you see this Teresa Gray. Let's try to copy it, the particular row. I want to paste it somewhere here. Can you see? So I pasted it here. That means we have 2 exact entry. So that means that is duplicate, because the same person cannot have the same email and the same phone number, be from the same city, the same country, and all of that. The details cannot be exactly the same. So we have to remove the duplicates. How can we remove the duplicates? We are going to highlight the entire data set. I'll click on this first cell A1. I'll hold Ctrl Shift down, then the right arrow key and down arrow key while holding Ctrl Shift. So after I do that, I'll come here to the data tab, and then on this data tools tab, you're going to see remove duplicates right here. So if I click on remove duplicates, it's going to ask me if I want to remove it from the entire columns. Then I'll say okay. I'll leave it this way and say okay. Can you see 1 duplicate found? So that means originally there's no duplicates in this data set, but because I copied a particular row and I added it again, that's what we mean by duplicate. What we mean by duplicate is you are having the entry that you're supposed to have once more than once. So we have to remove it so that we don't have a biased analysis. Another type of data cleaning we do is to look for blank cells in our data. For example, by just looking at this feedback score, you can see that we have cells that we don't have value. So that's what we call blank cells. We also call it null. If we keep scrolling, you can see here that we have in some other places. So to check it, we have to first add filter to our data set. So how do we add filter? Click on the cell A1, hold Ctrl Shift down, then press right arrow key and down arrow key to highlight the entire data set. After you do that, you come here to the data tab, and then under sort and filter, you can add filter to the data set. If we come back up, you can see that we didn't have this drop down before, but we now have it. That is what we call data filter. The data filter, we had a drop down list to every column in the data set you highlighted. So now we can now click on this drop down one after the other to see if we have blank in a particular column. So we check blanks column wise. So you check for each column. Column 1, do we have blanks? Column 2, do we have blanks? Column 3, do we have blanks? And on like that. So for this first column, I'm just going to go to the end of it. You can see if I had null values or like empty cells in this particular column, I'm going to have a box down here that will show blanks. But since I don't have blanks, that means that there's no null value in this particular column. Now let's go to the email address column. I'll go to the last part of the email address column. You can see we don't have blanks also here. All right, let's move very fast. If I check this one, no blanks. If I check this one, no blanks. So that's how I'm going to keep checking one after the other. Can you see that we have blanks in the country? So that we have some cells in this country column without entry. So we are going to deselect the entire data for this column. And then you scroll down to check where we have the blanks. How many rows do we have blanks for this particular column? I'm going to filter the data out to see only where we have blanks, the people that did not include their country, and I'll press OK. So we have a lot of people that did not include their country. Can you see? So these are blanks. We'll look for a way to fill up the blanks. All right. What are the ways we use in filling up the blanks? You can either replace the blanks instead of it just being blanks. You can leave it as NA like this. You can change it to NA. So anywhere you have blank, you just change it to NA. Obviously, you don't just want to be doing NA one after the other like this. You don't want to do that. All right. But I could do that. I could do NA like this and just drag it down. So NA will be everywhere I have blank value. Can you see? It's just going to put NA everywhere. And if I remove the filter now, if I check down, you see now that I no longer have blanks. Instead, I've replaced my blanks with NA. Now I've worked on the blank cells in this particular column. So if we were working with real data set, you can know the country from the city. All right, so let's go back to where I replaced with NA. Here. Okay, so you can see Scotland. You can look for the country where we have a city called this. You can do that one after the other, or you can use VLOOKUP. We are going to get there, but because this is a dummy data set, we can just replace it with NA for now. But let's say I know the country that this is from. I could just let's say US. I could just change it from NA to United States. All right, and let's say everything is from United States. You can see that I've added filter first before I started changing it. So let's say all these cities are in the United States. I can do something we call find and replace. Find and replace, all you have to do is just press Ctrl H. It's going to open up this find and replace tab. It's going to ask you what you are looking for. Firstly, replaced our blanks with NA, right? So I can type in NA. I'm looking for NA. What do I want to replace the NA with? I want to replace it with United States because I think this is just a sample. I think all of these cities are in the United States. So replace with, I'm going to type United States. All right. And then I'm going to do replace all. All right, and then I'll press OK and close. Can you see that everywhere we have NA has been replaced with United States now? So whatever you want to, so you have something in your data set, but you want to change it to another thing, you can use find and replace to look for it. And let's say it was when we had blanks. So if you want to do blanks, instead of NA, you just not put anything here. Then it will replace it with United States. So anywhere you have blanks, that means cells that you don't have any value is going to replace it with United States. And remember, we are working with this column in this context. So when you are checking out for blank cells, you continue this process. You keep checking each column to see if you have blank cells and then try to replace it. If you think the replacement for the data set, the company will have it, then you can reach out to whoever the appropriate person is to say, oh, do you have a replacement for this data? You try to get more data from them. For example, let's say we have our client's email, but for these people that we have their emails, let's say we don't have their phone number. Let me try to delete this. Let's say we don't have their phone number, and I know that if I reach out to the secretary of the company or whoever is in charge, they could get their phone number from their email. They could send them a mail asking them for their phone number. I can copy this entire data and just paste it, open another file, like I can do Ctrl N to open a new spreadsheet and paste it there. And I can just save this file and send it to maybe the secretary or somebody that's gonna reach out to them via mail asking them for their phone number. And once they get it, I can now fill it up. I can now fill the missing values up. Remember, this is just an example to explain what we are trying to do. Okay, and once you apply filter, you'll not be able to see all of your data sets. So you have to come back here to remove the filter by selecting all and press OK. Okay, so the last data cleaning process I'm going to show you for this tutorial is there's something we call delimiter when we are working, when we are cleaning data. Sometimes we have this data set right here, And you can see that we have Teresa Gray. Let's say we want to have their first name separate and their last name separate in different columns. We can do that by using the text to column feature. How do we do that? Let's see. I'm going to select the column first, and then I'll come here to the data tab. In the data tab, I'm going to see under the data tools, you can see text to column. I'll click on it. If I click on text to column, you select delimited, and then next. Then so delimiter means that what is joining the two data that you are trying to separate. In this full name scenario, we have Teresa Gray, right? And you can see that between Teresa and Gray is just a space that is in between them. So instead of tab, I'm going to be checking space, and I will uncheck tab because it is space that is separating them. If you can see, when I check this space, it automatically separates them. Daniel Johnson, can you see Lisa Smith? It's automatically separated them. If I uncheck the space, can you see it's writing them together? If I check the space, then it's going to separate them, and that's what we are trying to do. So let's press next, and I'm going to finish it up. Okay, so basically what it's telling me is that there is data set where it's going to paste. So do I want to replace it? I'm just going to say okay. But if you get this kind of error, you can just copy this particular column and paste it in another column at the end of this file. Okay, let me press okay first. So you can see now it has splitted it. We have Teresa Gray, it splitted it, and here you can just change this to maybe first name, and this one right here to last name. All right, you can see that it removed our email column. So that was what I was talking about, that you could have just moved that original full name column. You could have moved it to the last column here before you now split it, right? It would be better that way. So for the rest of this data set, you can try to apply proper case to this, to format it properly. You can just look around, try to replace this with NA, or look for a replacement for it, and finish up the data cleaning for this data set. If you're in the paid community, you have access to this data set where you can perform all the data cleaning required, and also a file to where you can get details, more details on data cleaning functions that you can use when you are working in the future with data sets. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Today we talked about the data cleaning process in Excel, where you can check for blanks, you can remove duplicates, you can use functions when you are cleaning your data set. And I hope you understand everything we did and in today's class, and you practice everything and prepare for the next class. Don't forget to join our paid community to have a full knowledge, ask your questions, gain access to practice data set, and also there are lots and lots of opportunities you get when you join the paid community. I'll see you tomorrow, and bye for now.